All right, everybody. Hey, it is that time. It is Wrestlemania time, man. Hard to believe. Good grief. Didn't we just do this about a year ago? Uh, it is your boy, Big Rich, and we're going to have some other folks popping in from the Driving to the Top team, talking about WrestleMania 41 coming up this weekend, April 19th and 20th. Oh, man. Where do I start? The card to me doesn't really have a lot of pop to it. And this is just me. Um, think about this for a minute, okay? There are about there's 18 women on the roster that have played prominent roles in the last 6 months that are not a part of this card as we speak. I mean, you've got everybody from Mishin, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Um, you've got Zelina Vega, the women's U.S. champion, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Shayna Baszler, Ivy Nile, Natalia, uh, amongst others. So, it's really weird that they don't have something lined up. Now, what they may do, because I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, and if you haven't, sit down. Hope you're sitting down. 18 hours. 18 hours of WrestleMania broadcast this weekend. 3 hour pre the event, 2 hour post. Marcus, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? I didn't realize you went live. I just saw your text. I just got home and yeah, I have the account. I clicked on it and I'm like, oh, he's live right now. Let me hurry up and get in. I had to put this on. I said, okay, I'm here. Let's do it. I've been kind of
Gotcha.
MIA.
Yeah, MIA.
And it's going to be the first time I've talked wrestling completely in like a couple of months. Like I've been MIA lately and I came back at the right time. It's Mania week. Maybe doing this show and days go by, maybe my hype level for this Mania can go up more because when the week started,
Well,
my hype was at a 1.5. But maybe I'm going to try and get it up at least to an 8 by Friday.
well, I was just talking about right before you hopped on. I don't know if you heard me talking about this or not. 18 hours over 2 days. Uh, three
That's like
hour pre 3 hour pre show each day, 2 hour post show each day, and then 4 hours of a show each day. Uh-uh.
Are they trying
I'm
to
a
be like
bit
college game day or something? Like, I don't know why they need 3 hours to get us hype. I'm okay with one
well.
hour.
I think they're gonna. Yeah, an hour is fine. An hour pre, an hour post. Okay, fine. Especially if you throw a match or two in there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about the fact. Do you know there are 18 women that have played prominent roles on either SmackDown or Raw over the last year
Mm-hmm.
that are not a part of this card, including your women's U.S. champion, including Natalia, Zelina Vega, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Alexa Bliss, Mi Shin, uh, Ivy Nile, Piper Niven, um, Maxine Dupree, Mrs. Johnny
D5,
Same Face. Uh, yeah, she's on that list. Mrs. Johnny Same Face.
Selena.
Um, Zelina. Yeah, I mean, there's 18 of them. Now, my thought process on this, and it's very distinct possibility. They put a battle royal together into one of the pre-shows with the winner getting a shot at the a title, whether it's the women's title or the women's world title. But why do you not have the women's U.S. champion in a match?
I was wondering that too. Now, cross your fingers because we still got one more SmackDown There are advertising a 6-woman tag that may lead to a one-on-one match people want. I'm not counting it yet, but there could be a possibility we might see Chelsea Green in action if they play their cards right and they make it happen with this 6-woman tag they're doing on SmackDown. But yeah, I agree they should have more women's matches, but why are not the other tag titles on the line? Unless they do something that night too, where we got Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns, and then you got DIY and Pretty Deadly all fighting each other. I was hoping we were going to get a 4-way. We're getting this instead, unless they add something. And I think another thing they're waiting to find out is who's going to be Randy Orton's new opponent, which, if he has a match. I think he will at the last second. It might be Solo now.
Remember when we did open mic last week and I brought up I thought it was going to be Solo. It only made sense because Nick Aldis, to be perfectly honest with you, would be fantastic and they would have one hell of a match. There's only one problem. Nick Aldis, at least the last that I had heard, is in the same type of situation as Stone Cold Steve Austin. If he takes one wrong bump, he ain't getting up.
Yeah.
That's why he had retired to start with, was he had some really bad neck and back issues. And I just, if you noticed when he went down on those RKOs that he not only did a few years ago, but this one that he most recently did, it was pretty much a straight flat drop. He didn't do anything outside of just going, and that was it. No angle, no bounce, none of that stuff. Which I think, lends to that. There is another one though that I'm kind of, and I wonder if they're going to do this on SmackDown Friday, is to have a DIY Motor City Machine Guns, who are, by the way, since I've been a big Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley fan since TNA. So especially Chris Sabin. But have them and Pretty Deadly and Motor City Machine Guns all together in a qualifier to get the Street Profits in the pre-show.
Yeah, or I kept thinking they were going to do a 4-way. It's 2. All 4 teams compete in a fatal 4-way tag. First team to score a pin wins the tag titles. That's where I thought
they could do that. That might be what happens in the pre-show. I mean, I think SmackDown Friday is going to be the usual Friday SmackDown before a big pay-per-view and absolutely positively stink because they're not going to do anything. There is a thought process, though. We were talking about Randy Orton. There's no build-up to it whatsoever. I mean, zero. But it would be a heck of a match because he doesn't have a match either. What about Sheamus?
Yeah, Sheamus don't have a match either. But I know that this whole brand thing don't mean nothing no more. They're just jumping ship to this show, that show. So yeah, Sheamus don't have a match. That could be a possibility. Sami Zayn don't have a match. I said that could be a possibility.
Well, Sammy's hurt.
Oh, he is hurt.
Said Sammy's hurt.
Okay,
Sammy's hurting out. KO's hurting out. So those 2 guys are definitely out.
Okay.
They've got enough guys that they could do the Andre the Giant Battle Royal in the pre-show. Mm-hmm. You could get guys like Otis in there and Tozawa, and maybe that's where you put a Sheamus, and have him win the thing. Or
speaking of Otis, he's kind of my pick to win the Andre the Giant because I think that's the only big guy I know that could be in the match. I'm kind of used to the big men winning it, like in the past, like a Big Show or a Bobby Lashley or Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed. I'm going with a big guy to win it because Andre was big. Yeah, they've had little guys that won it in the past, like Jey Uso won it, Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, all them, Matt Hardy.
Sheamus won it.
Yeah,
Sheamus won it one year.
Didn't Ridge? No, I thought one of the didn't Ridge Holland won it one year or something? Not Ridge Holland. I don't know. I thought somebody from.
I know Holland was in it. I don't know that he won it, but I know that he might have won it.
But if I'm going with a big guy to win it, I'm gonna say Otis.
Well, and that's valid for a couple of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he's short enough that it's going to take more than one person to throw him over the top. That's just the way it goes. Um,
Unless if it's like if Braun Strowman were to be in it, then he can be the only one I know could throw him out on his own.
and Strowman would be one to put in there. By the way, your winners were Cesaro the first year,
I
Big
was there for
Show,
that.
Corbin, Raleigh, Big Show, Corbin, Raleigh, Hardy, Strowman, Uso, Madcap Moss,
That's
Bobby
Madcap Moss.
Lashley,
That's what it was.
yeah, Bobby Lashley, and Bronson Reed.
So Madcap. That's what I was thinking of. Why did I
But you
say
know
Rick
what's really
Roman?
funny? If you look at the runners up, Big Show, one of the greatest characters in the history of wrestling. Damian Mizdow,
That was good. Yeah.
Kane, Jinder Mahal, Corbin, Colin Jost, Shinsuke
Nope.
Nakamura, Finn Balor, Bronson Reed, and Ivar.
That's the runner-ups.
Those are the runner-up.
So I was at the first one, that Cesaro one when he slammed Big Show out of the ring, and I was at the one that Matt Hardy won when Bray came back to help Matt win it that year too.
Cesaro to me is neck and neck with Arn Anderson as the absolutely most underutilized guys in the history of wrestling, and Brad Armstrong.
Okay.
That's like my top three right there. Cesaro, somebody explained to me how Cesaro has never had a world belt around his waist.
He joins an elite list of guys. Like I've said the same thing to guys like Ken Shamrock. Why didn't they put the belt on him? Or Shelton Benjamin, another one. Why they didn't put a world title on him?
Shelton, yeah.
I can go on. Trying to jump to SmackDown. There was a couple of guys on SmackDown I thought should have, like, maybe maybe Christian. I mean, yeah, Christian won the world title later, but like he could have been a world champion during that time. I get why they didn't do it with like Muhammad Hassan because of what happened in 05. They were planning to do that. I felt like maybe Mark Henry way earlier. Yeah, he got it in 2011, but like Christian, but he should have been way before as well. Who was another? God, there was some more I've said more. Rikishi's another one they should have put a world title on. Umaga, they should have put a world title on.
Didn't he win it?
No, Umaga was just Intercontinental Champion.
He didn't win it from Cena?
No, Cena beat him. He ended his undefeated streak at New Year's Revolution, and then at the Rumble, he beat him in that gruesome last man standing match when he choked him with the ring rope with the STF.
Yeah, that's right.
But in the showcase, you could play as Umaga and reverse that decision and win the title in the 2K showcase for the Bloodline story in 2K25.
Gotcha. Well, we've got a big event, huh?
I said that may have been the greatest showcase I've ever done in WWE 2K outside of John Cena reversing his wins to losses, reversing his losses to wins.
Okay. Well, we do have a set as we sit right now, 13 match card to talk about. So let's start things off. I'm going straight off of the list from Sean Ross Sapp. So I'm going top to bottom on his list.
All right.
And if they use this as the curtain jerker for the night, I'm not mad at it. Okay. Saturday, Punk versus Rollins versus Roman.
Main event.
Or do you put it out there first? Get that crowd really revved up.
Yeah, but when they say the main event, I thought they mean that's what closes out. So,
yeah, the main event, from what he's showing as the main event, is Gunther and Jey Uso.
Oh, because I was going to go on a limb and say Gunther and Jey Uso open up night one.
And you probably could flip those, but you want 50,000 people yeeting.
Yes.
So
millions
here
at home.
Here's the way I would look at it. If Gunther's going to win, we haven't gotten to that point yet. We haven't picked that one yet. Let's pick this one first.
A triple threat?
The triple threat, yeah, with the 800-pound gorilla or Alfred Hitchcock in the corner, um, in Mr. Paul Heyman. Um, my goodness, you know, okay, who wins this?
Well, I am. This might be the match I'm hyped for overall, and it's one of maybe two matches I'm hyped for the first night because
Okay,
these three got. I mean, you go back 10 years, you go back to or 10, 11 years to the year where that same year Punk left WWE. Seth turns on the Shield and goes with the Authority. Roman kind of goes on his solo run. Like three different things happened 10 years ago that leads to this, and it leads to like one guy and Paul Heyman in some sort of formation, mainly with two out of the three. And then we all know what the favor was. We've been wanting to know what it was. He's in Punk's corner, and now Rollins wants a favor, which we haven't figured that out yet. But we're finally getting it. I've been saying for weeks that Punk was going to win, but Seth is kind of pulling strings here. A lot of people are now thinking Seth was going to win and possibly Heyman could align with Seth Rollins by the end of the night, turn on Punk and turn on Roman Reigns, which could be a possibility.
yeah,
But Punk finally got what he wanted. He's been wanting the main event WrestleMania all his life. He's finally in it. Seth has been down this road. Roman, this is his 10th main event. So he's definitely been. So I could definitely say Roman can afford this loss. He's had losses in the past. He never lost back-to-back WrestleManias that I can recall, but now this could be the time he will eventually. Seth can afford this loss, even though he already lost back-to-back WrestleMania matches last year. He can afford this loss. I feel like this is Punk's first WrestleMania match since WrestleMania 29 when he fought The Undertaker. The last time he won a match at WrestleMania was WrestleMania 28 against Chris Jericho. It's been a long time since he got a WrestleMania win. I've been saying Punk was going to win because it's been a long time coming, but Seth's playing mind games in my head that he could probably pull it off. But I could go both and say Punk wins the match, but Paul Heyman turns and aligns with Seth after the match.
I can see where you're coming from there. I've kind of got, and this may sound kind of weird, odd, however you want to put it. I'm pulling something out of left field on this one. If you've seen, have you seen the one woman show or whatever with Becky where she says she's done? She's not wrestling anymore. So
Uh,
picture, so picture this: that Punk beats Rollins. Okay, Rollins comes out and does his usual flip out and channels his inner Batista and quits right in the middle of the ring
wow.
and walks out and retires.
Okay. That is kind of, whew, that would be shocking.
It would be. It would definitely have people talking. I mean, will the match get people going? Yes. Is any of the three winning going to set 50,000 people on fire? I don't think so. Hey, Dylan, how are you? Um, I don't know. I really don't know. That's why I say I think Punk wins. You know, the contract that this is where Sean Ross Sapp's list and what I've been hearing are complete opposites. Because you even heard you're main eventing WrestleMania. But Sean Ross Sapp has this as the first match. So I'm unless he's looking at Gunther and Jey Uso leading this thing off. But I do know this much: the match right after that is your bathroom break.
which is
the next match on his list is Naomi versus Jade Cargill.
I'm usually when I
I
look at a
couldn't.
match. I'm sorry to cut you off, but when I usually look
No.
at a match card list, whatever match is all the way at the bottom, I consider the main event because usually they'll put the opening match on top of the card.
That's what I would have thought. And I'm reading from the top of his list to the bottom.
Oh wow!
The top of his list was the triple threat.
Yeah,
The
but I
bottom of
mean,
his list is Gunther and Jey Uso.
a lot of them dirt sheets. Some might be true, some are always false. But I mean, I digress. But we'll see what happens come Saturday when I watch WWE Game Day or whatever you want to call it with that 3-hour kickoff show.
Yeah, that's why I'm just going down the list.
All right.
Naomi and Jade Cargill, I honestly could not care less. They're neither. Naomi is good talent, and this dark side of Naomi is kind of interesting. Jade Cargill does absolutely zero for me in the ring. Phenomenal physique, no question about it. She could probably rip a phone book in half. Congratulations to her. Could probably win fitness competitions and that kind of stuff, but does nothing for me in the ring. So, I mean, I think you're going to see. I think Naomi wins. I really do. To
I
keep this
think
thing
that
going.
I think they're pushing her to win on social media because all these skits and vignettes are her like turning into a psycho and jamming in a car to like music want to beat people up. Like I'm enjoying seeing these on Twitter, watching Naomi just try to turn into a big bad bully. Now, at first at the beginning, I didn't like the whole oh, she's my friend. No, she's my friend skit with Bianca when she revealed that it wasn't rocket science. We all knew Naomi did it, but we're just waiting to find out did Bianca really assist her with this, or was she completely innocent? That's the only question we're waiting to find out right now. Maybe she might be innocent because Jade never put a finger on her. Jade just kind of gave her a look like, I don't know why you still want to hang with her. But I'm kind of glad Naomi got rid of this glow gimmick, this caution. I call her the Owen Hart attire because Owen Hart had the caution looking onesie and everything. Like I kind of like this version of Naomi a little bit. We know what she can do as this new type of character, but they are pushing her to win this match. But I still think Jade might get redemption and win this, but this is far from over. We might see a trio. We might see a series of matches with these two.
Yeah. Rav, do you think Becky Lynch will be on the show?
I don't think so.
There's the flip side of what I was just talking about with the Seth Rollins thing. Could I see Becky if Becky was going to come back? There's only one match she would come back into, and that's the Tiffany and Charlotte match. But we'll get in. We'll approach that match when we get to it. The next match on this list, I'm very interested in this match because I think it's actually going to be a really good match. Rey Mysterio against El Grande Americano, who God and everybody knows is Chad Gable. Just the match itself should be fantastic because both of those guys can go.
I think what's funny is the internet crying. When are they going to give Chad Gable a true WrestleMania match? He got one right here. We know it's him. This is like, this is kind of like, who else? The Santino Marella nonsense, or the Elias Ezekiel nonsense, or remember Mr. NXT Bo Dallas in NXT 10 years ago. Like, we know it's Chad, but I love it. It's entertaining.
Ezekiel was not Elias. You know that, right?
Oh man,
Marcus, I'm dead serious. Look at him. I can tell you who Ezekiel was.
He just looked weird, shaved.
L.A. Knight. Yeah. Was
Eli
Ezekiel.
Drake. Are you serious?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
Googling this. I am Googling
That
this.
was Ezekiel.
If that's true, we have all been swerved in that one. But this match,
That was Ezekiel.
all I'm going to say is, well, I don't see it under his ring name, but I digress. Now, if this match here, if this would have been Mask versus Mask, I'd have taken Rey Mysterio. But that just because it's 1-on-1, I'm going with El Grande Americano. Does he get unmasked? Maybe, especially if he would lose. But I got him winning it, and if he does get unmasked eventually, then they'll finally show it was him, or unless they wait till the Raw after Mania to do it on a crazy night where you're going to see all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Grande Americano wins it. I think Ray is to that point that he's okay with that kind of stuff. As far as taking care of guys. At the same time, this is probably outside of his normal persona. This is the best gimmick that they've given Gable. Shorty G was ridiculous. That kind of thing. They really fucked.
But they're going to go turn
up.
around and say this was worse just because they put that he's from Gulf of America, and it's a disgrace to luchadors.
Well, maybe, but you know where they really screwed up with him was when they didn't make him Kurt Angle's illegitimate kid.
Yeah, we talked about that on Mic'd Up. I said
we did
that out the park. If it had been Chad Gable as the son and not Jason Jordan, they really fumbled that one hard.
Yeah, I mean, because Angle could have taken Gable to the moon. Look what he did for Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. I mean, he took them straight to the world titles. And, you know, there could definitely have been a Team Angle revisit. Heck, bring Jason Jordan along with it. Have Gable have been his illegitimate kid and have American Alpha become the new Team Angle. That would have made sense. But
he could have said both were his kids. He could have said Gable was just a son he had with another woman, and Jordan could have been like an adoptive son.
Could have been.
Like his foster kids or something.
Yeah. This next match intrigues me. It really does, because I have been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, trying to figure out who in the world is going to win this match. And it's the U.S. title, LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. Because as soon as I start thinking, yeah, it's going to be Jacob Fatu, yeah, but why would they make LA Knight a transitional champion again? Because remember, he only had it for a little while, and then Shinsuke took it off of him. And he, you know, he hasn't had that legitimate long run. And then you sit there and you go, okay, but how is he going to beat the Werewolves? You know, how is he going to beat Jacob Fatu, who they are putting a rocket launcher on? You know, so you sit there and your brain is kind of going ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. I'm going to take LA Knight to retain. I just don't know how. Does that make any sense? Maybe by DQ. Solo causes a DQ, and finally Jacob Fatu smacks the crap out of Solo Sikoa. There you go. That's how it works.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing about Jacob Fatu. He came in about like 8 months ago, 9 months ago, and since he's been in WWE, he's just all gas, no brakes. He's been a dominant force. He's had great matches. He's been in some of the biggest feuds that involve the bloodline. So far, he's the only one that hasn't won gold yet since Solo brought his bloodline in, because God have been tag team champions already. Jacob's never had gold yet. And this could be the best prime example to finally put a title on him and give him a singles run. Yeah, I know LA Knight just got it back from Nakamura, and he's been this transitional champion again, but I mean, he can eventually get it back eventually, because I have Jacob Fatu finally getting that championship, getting a singles title run, and I'm going to quote it now, 3 to 5 years, I see him main eventing a WrestleMania.
Well, I don't doubt that. It may even be sooner than that. But work with me on this one, okay? What Go back and think about Raw, the first Raw on Netflix, I think it was, or it was a Saturday night's main event. When you saw Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu face to face. If Jacob wins that title, and they've been talking about putting the IC and the US title together and making one title. How big and how much money would you draw with Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu?
Oh man.
That would be ridiculous.
I mean, it's gonna eventually happen soon. No sooner than SummerSlam. I mean, sometime in the summer, that bloodline's gonna blow
Right,
up.
but what I'm thinking is whether he gets it at WrestleMania or not, you get Jacob getting the US title, Braun with the Intercontinental title, and they meet up. Then I mean, to a lesser, well, in my opinion, to a better degree, but to a lesser degree, Hogan Warrior, this could have major implications and major ramifications in the future of both of those guys. It could be one hell of a feud.
Oh yeah, I would
The
be all
matches
in
would be
for that.
ridiculous. You could do a year's worth of matches with those guys.
I would be all in for that.
Oh
That
yeah,
would be
no,
something to see.
no question. The next match is the women's world title match, as it's Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton against the Queen, Charlotte Flair, who, according to certain people, has taken too much Ozempic.
This feud is not what we thought it was going to be. It has been so bad. I feel like Tiffany deserves better.
Hmm.
And despite what happened last week, I didn't even realize I must have been in the other room after the worst one of the worst promos I ever saw that they had to bring up personal matters. I didn't know she got ambushed in the parking lot, or unless that was at the beginning of the show
It
when
was at
Tiffany
the
had to.
beginning of the show.
Okay, well, I think the fact that that happened, plus she got involved after a match. Tiffany had a match. I remember this past Friday, and
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte was not supposed to be in the building. Showed up and beat her down. Wade Barrett couldn't even control her. That's just the sign saying, okay, Tiffany's retaining.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nail biter. This is going to be back and forth. They're going to try and make this a 5-star, but it won't be. But there's going to be back near fall after near fall. But I think Tiffany pulls it off in a close one.
It's kind of funny. I if you sit and just look at Charlotte since she's come back, okay. First off, the Ozempic stuff that people are saying online, okay, let's bypass that because that's just dumb. Did she drop a lot of weight? Yes. She's probably 20-25 pounds lighter. You look at her legs, and the definition that she had in her legs ain't there anymore. The definition she had in her arms isn't there anymore. And when you watch her in that ring, I don't think that she has confidence in that knee because it seems like she's babying that knee.
Do you find that her ring gear has been a little loose on her? Because you
Yeah.
look back at her highlights at the Rumble, I keep thinking that's like all like that red attire she wore. You thinking that's all skin showing? No, that's like a tan spandex in the ring gear. I keep thinking that's like her skin, but it sags. Like she lost weight or it's too big for her. Like she can barely fit in her ring gear. And I've seen it lately in other matches. One match she had on SmackDown, it was like a new white ring gear. It was just about to fall off her hips, like the ring gear
Mm-hmm.
she wore at the Rumble when she came back, that red gear. So
Yeah, it seems like she has lost muscle mass in the time she was out. because like I say, it's not. I mean, it's definition that's not there that used to be in her arms and her legs. And she doesn't seem like she has any confidence. Rav, I can't say you're wrong, man. He said that Charlotte Flair should retire. I
Yeah,
I can't
she,
say that you're wrong. Can you?
she she's been there a good while, but I don't see it. She's gonna they're gonna not let her go until she eventually can tie the record her dad had, or at least surpass her dad. But someone, quote unquote, may do it before she will.
Well, it. I think if she has one more knee issue, she's calling it because she's already gone through two complete reconstructions on her knee in the last what 5 years,
Yeah.
um, and that's no fun. It's definitely a case where I and she's 35, 37,
Oh no, she's
something
older
like
than
that.
me. I'm 35. She's got to be about 37, 38 right now.
So, when you look at her, she's 39. She just turned 39 last week.
Wow.
Um, so, again, that takes even more. The older you get, the longer it takes for rehab and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think if she gets injured again, she's done. Um, but I'm concerned about this match. Does that make any sense? I'm
Yeah,
concerned that something's going to happen that Charlotte's going to put Tiffany in danger.
yeah, because we've been seeing botches lately, not just from the women, from the men too. We've been
Oh
seeing
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's happened. Even Jey Uso had one a little while back and that kind of stuff. But a lot of the stuff that Tiffany does, especially like that moonsault that she modeled off Christopher Daniels, which by the way is a spectacular move.
Yeah, but
It's
one mistake could cost someone's career or an injury
right.
if she
Yeah.
were to like be off. Like, I guess she distances and measures herself because she always hits it perfect, but it can take one simple slip to like
Yeah.
really, really mess up someone's career.
No, you're exactly right. And Tiffany's 25 and she's got a big career ahead of her. And I would hate to see something screw it up. I really, really, honest to God, would. I'm taking Tiffany to win as well in that match. Then we come to what's going to probably be, well, let's put it this way: it'll either be the first match or the last match. Gunta against Jey Uso. I
This,
love the promo Jey Uso did the other day where he's like, "I'm not afraid of you. Screw you and everybody that looks like you, and we're gonna have a fight." I I think that was really right there.
yeah, and you go back. You want to go? I don't know if you want to go back 6 months or go back a year, but remember how hype people were getting for Jay to be like they want to make him the top star, especially when he had that match with Gunther on Saturday night's main event. Even though I knew he wasn't gonna win it, people kind of quit on him after that, or they were complaining like, "Oh, he needs to be world champion. Give him more." Well, when he wins the Royal Rumble, what happens? They just quit on him. I guess they wanted Cena to tie Stone Cold's Rumble record and go on to face it. I'm like, he's gonna win the Chamber. You know, Cena's gonna be involved with Cody somehow. I didn't pick Jay winning the Rumble, but was I upset that he won? No. Oh, hell no.
Oh,
I was in shock, but I was like so happy. I said this could finally be the time. That now week after week I wasn't sure yet. I was like, man, they better not drop the ball on him to have him win the Rumble and all the backlash he's already getting, to have him lose again to Gunther. But after the beatdown he gave Jimmy Uso, I said, oh, it's in stone. Jay's winning now. Jay's gonna bring the family thing up. it's giving me Kofi Mania vibes. Like they were doubting Kofi to win it, and I didn't quit on him, and Kofi finally won the big one. I'm doing the same with Jey Uso right here. I'm waiting to see what kind of entrance he's going to have. Is he going to come through the crowd in the concessions, or is someone going to play him to the ring? All I know is whether the sun's out in Vegas or the moon's out, there's going to be maybe not 50,000, 60 to 70,000 people yeeting more than they did in Philadelphia. Jay is winning, finally going to get his real WrestleMania moment and win the World Heavyweight Championship. And if it happens, let's hope, for God's sakes, he has a decent title run and not be no transitional champion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Jay wins it. You're going to have 50, 60,000 people yeeting and all that. They're not going to want him blown up by the time he gets to the ring. So, I mean, coming through a stadium like that, that's a long way if he comes through the crowd and all that kind of thing. I think he's coming out I think he's going to come up out the runway. Not quite sure how they're going to play that, but they're not going to want him hitting the ring blown up. Because if he does that, because that match is probably going to go 20, 25, 30 minutes. And if he's blown up at second one, it's going to affect the match big time. But I do think Jay is going to win this thing. Rav asked us, is Jey Uso more over than Roman? At this second, yeah. Yeah.
I got a question for you
you
before we move on to night 2. The WrestleMania set. What in your head, how do you think this set's going to look? Because it already looks like it's going to be on a massive stage. Do you think they turn it, the stage might look like a massive casino, or do you see it looking more like the Las Vegas Strip, or maybe something else?
I think it's gonna be the bright lights, big city kind of thing. The deal that I have behind us tonight, I think, is going to be the major. The WrestleMania logo will be prominent, of course, in the middle, and I think it's going to be just bright lights, big city. I don't know that it's necessarily going to be either the casino or the skyline look. Just the bright lights and all the glamour and all that kind of stuff for WrestleMania.
I intend it
for
could be
Vegas.
something. It's going to be something unique, Vegas vibe, because you look at some of the over the years. Remember when WrestleMania was in Orlando? The first year the set looked like a giant resort. The second year it was a giant roller coaster with a logo that almost looks similar like Universal. The second time WrestleMania was in New Orleans, they did a giant Mardi Gras mask to make it New Orleans vibe. When 29 was in New York, they did the Brooklyn Bridge and all that. They put the Statue of Liberty over the ring, which was unique. The giant movie theater when they went to SoFi. You know, those were all. Oh, and the big pirate ship when they were in Tampa. Like, it's going to have a unique vibe. Like, I'm seeing blueprints like it might look like a giant casino, but it could be fake. I mean, I've seen crazy custom ones on Community Creations in 2K25. I downloaded one of the most unique ones. I would love to see
all I can tell you is this: they started working on it Tuesday,
a week ago.
Yeah,
because they already had the stage lift. Like, the stage is going to be high, like WrestleMania 33 high. Like, it's gonna be something.
It's gonna be intriguing to see how it all happens.
And they're gonna reveal it. They're supposed to reveal it Friday afternoon or Thursday evening. The earliest.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna want to reveal it probably before the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. I give it till Thursday night. They're gonna probably reveal it on Thursday night, where they could shut all the lights off and maybe have a crazy pyro display. As long as it's not no logo stage. I've had that happen twice for 30 and 38. I don't like the logo just being the stage just being the giant logo as a stage. You got to be creative. 30, they did that for 30 in New Orleans the first time, and they did it for 38 in Dallas. I like when they go crazy with the sets. And hopefully they do the same thing again next year when they go back to New Orleans. Do like a French Quarter vibe if you have to. You already done a Mardi Gras mask. You've already done a logo stage. Do the French Quarter, or do, I don't know, do something new, or do something Mardi Gras related again. Do a Mardi Gras float if you have to. Do a giant king or something, or I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you do have a point. I've never really put much consideration into the set and all that kind of stuff. I'm just more that let's get them in the ring and make it happen kind of guy. But you do make sense, and I'll be interested to see what it's going to look like. I definitely am.
Mm-hmm.
But Sunday night, let's start with probably the one that's going to jerk the curtain. And if it does, it's going to be a heck of a match to start it with. Logan Paul versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. My
I
guy.
I think Sunday's card looks a little more hard and entertaining than night one. I feel like night two got a little better match card, and I do see this match kicking off, if not the women's triple threat. But one of those two matches will kick off night two. But I wouldn't mind Logan Paul and AJ kicking it off. That'd be a unique way. Um, this is going to be a banger. I mean, I always despise Logan Paul and always say I hate the guy, and everybody in the world hates him. But I will give him his flowers. He can move in the ring. He's very good, and I know people hate that to admit it, but you're working with a guy like AJ who hadn't had a WrestleMania win. He hadn't had a singles WrestleMania win, I think, since 35 against Randy Orton. His last WrestleMania win, he won the tag titles with Otis because he lost at 38 to Edge. I was there for that, and he lost to LA Knight last year. Did he have a match for 39? I don't remember if he did or not. I think he was out. I think he was out for 39, but I got AJ winning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then the COVID year, he lost the Undertaker in his last match.
Yeah, boneyard match, which
yeah,
it's been a while. Heck,
he got to be, he got to be the Undertaker's last opponent. That tells you something.
In the main, even though it was a cinematic match, it did main event one of the nights.
Yeah, and this match. I mean, when you look at Logan Paul, okay, and there's been a ton of guys that have tried to come from entertainment and be a wrestler, and oh yeah, I'm going to do this, and some of them make absolute idiots of themselves. Some of them actually do halfway decent. I thought Bad Bunny made a decent representation of himself. He didn't look like an absolute idiot out there. Some of them do.
I always said Bad Bunny's. Yeah, they might be the two best celebrities out. Plus, I'll even throw Marina Menounos in there. They might have been the three best celebrities. Oh, and I'll throw Lawrence Taylor in too. They were the four best celebrities to have a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see Logan Paul takes this stuff seriously. You can tell he takes the workout and learning the system and the respect for the sport itself and that kind of deal. He actually does that. He may not have respect for anything else, but he definitely shows that he's got respect for the sport and the guys that are in it, which I think is good. Now, is he a no questions asked, you want to punch him square in the face heel? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a much better Tully Blanchard. I mean, Tully Blanchard was that guy you want to just reach across and slap. And Logan Paul's pretty much that same guy. I think Logan Paul ends up winning this thing, as much as I hate to say it. I mean, I never want to see my guy lose, but I just got that feeling that AJ is going to, take care of Logan Paul.
That could be a shocker, and that could possibly happen.
Yeah, I mean, AJ has already said he's only got a couple years left. And I think that he's, I think you're going to see him have a run with Cena before Cena retires. And a few other things before AJ retires, because AJ's 47. He said on Chris Van Vliet's podcast he's not going to wrestle till 50.
Well,
So
here's my thing: if he retires within 3 years, should he have at least one more match or something in TNA, since WWE's kind of doing this crossover with TNA?
yeah, and I'm sure that would happen. I'm sure that they would make that happen, and probably knowing what's going on in TNA right now, him versus Frankie Kazarian would probably, because those two guys have gone through it all together. If he wasn't hurt, Christopher Daniels, but Christopher Daniels has a worse neck than Steve Austin. If he was in TNA, Samoa Joe, because some of those Joe AJ TNA matches were some of the best matches I've ever seen.
His rivalry with Kurt was one of my favorites, especially like around 2008.
Yep. James Storm.
Yeah. Who else? He worked with. I'm trying to go like old school. Like, didn't he had some classic matches with Monty Brown and Abyss?
Yeah,
and even Raven and Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, Jarrett, Elix Skipper, Bobby Roode,
Siaki.
Yeah, Sonny Siaki. Yeah, Bobby Roode. Eric Young,
Jay Lethal.
Yeah. And
Bully Ray.
AJ was actually part of one of the greatest promos in the history of wrestling, because he was part of Fortune when Flair and Jay Lethal did that whole woo off.
Yeah, which that was.
And I'm sorry, Jay Lethal's dead on. He is dead on Flair.
I loved the woo off with Jay Lethal and Flair. But to me, did Fortune feel like a ripoff of the Four Horsemen because they were throwing the fours up?
Yeah, and it was kind of that in between with Evolution. Between the Horsemen and Evolution, and he was trying to get.
I felt like the Main Event Mafia was more like Evolution to me, because you had all former world champions in a group that were dressed in tailor-made suits, riding in style, kind of like Evolution did.
But the Main Event Mafia was old.
Yeah.
Evolution, yeah, you had Flair, but you had a young Triple H. I mean, he was probably 30, 32 at the time. Yeah, Randy Orton wasn't 25.
He was 23. I think he was 23, 24, and Batista was at least 28 years old, 27.
Yeah, I mean, Batista and Triple H were probably close to the same age, but you had younger guys. Main Event Mafia, everybody was old. Sting, Nash, Angle,
Booker.
Booker. Those guys were all 40s and 50s. And Rab says AJ Styles was the X division. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He really was. And I'll tell you what, AJ and Chris Sabin.
Speaking of that, you can't forget Jeff Hardy. He had some great feuds with Jeff Hardy in TNA.
Yeah, that's true. But boy, I'll tell you what, I would like to see. Now, that would be a match that they could do on SmackDown, would be AJ and Chris Sabin.
Oh, yeah. I would love that. Run it back.
Absolutely. And I'll bet Sabin would do it in a second.
You want to throw Alex Shelley in a singles match with AJ? Make that happen too. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've met one-on-one.
I would too, but man, they had a rivalry, he and Sabin, for a while, and it was really, really good. AJ could have a match with your microphone and make it good.
I know I know Saban had 2 world title reigns in TNA, but X Division, didn't he win like 4 X Division or 5? And then Alex Shelley may have won like 1 or 2.
Alex Shelley won 1.
One X Division title?
1 X Division title.
And
he
Saban
won more tag titles than anything else.
Yeah. And Saban won like 4 or 5 X Division, I remember. And then I remember his 2 world title reigns when he was feuding with like Bully Ray and stuff.
Yeah, he beat Bully Ray and then he beat Austin Aries, I think. Aries is another one. Aries and AJ was a good run.
Bro, they got a guy in the front. I'm watching Raw right now. They got a guy in the front row wearing a Prime suit, like the Prime bottle. And he's got a crown on his head. When Karrion Kross ran,
why you want to...
When Karrion Kross ran AJ into the barricade, they showed him like he was like in the second row from the barricade. And you saw him real clear.
See, Karrion Kross and AJ could be interesting.
I think they're having a decent match right here. I mean, they just went to commercial.
Yeah, I mean, that could be interesting. But let's continue on with Sunday.
Well,
a match that I... Oh, good.
One more thing. Like, some people were thinking Karrion Kross might have something to do in this AJ Logan Paul feud.
I don't think so. Logan Paul's too part-time.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to waste Karrion Kross messing with something that's not going to be a long-term thing. They're not looking at AJ and Logan Paul going for 6 months.
It's like a one-off.
Yeah. This next match I am very intrigued with, simply because I want to see how it plays. Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Braun Breaker for the IC title. There's a whole lot of stuff right there.
There is a lot. One thing I think we could end up seeing in the future, I'm going to wait till after another match we predict, but I'm stuck between 2 guys. I either got Penta winning the title because Penta has been on a roll since he got to the main roster. He has been killing it. Yeah, I know he's not undefeated anymore. He's lost a match or 2. And they're trying to push him to the moon. And he's only been in the company for like 2 or 3 months. Now, Braun Breaker, isn't this his WrestleMania debut?
I believe so.
If that's the case, okay. This would be unique because if you've not watched the documentary they did on WrestleMania 9 on Peacock, they did like something they never did in the 90s. Like, they were trying to make a documentary and they showed like never before seen footage and everything, like getting everything ready. And they were saying WrestleMania 9 was the first WrestleMania to have like a unique look because they did the whole Roman Coliseum theme, toga party, Vegas, and all that. Which I thought WrestleMania 7 was like the first because they went all patriotic. But what I'm getting at is WrestleMania 9 was the debut of the Steiners in Vegas. So Braun's debuting in the same city his daddy and his uncle did 30 plus years ago. So that's unique. But I know a lot of people are going to want Braun to lose because they think he's ready to get to be in the world title picture, which I agree. I hopefully by SummerSlam he could be challenging for the world title. But he's so over right now. They love the guy. So I'm stuck with him retaining or Penta winning the title. It's a flip a coin for me right now to see who would they put over in this match more out of those 2. I don't see Finn or Dominic winning. I know a lot of people are going to push Dominic to win to finally get a singles title in the main roster, or Finn finally get a singles championship he hasn't had in quite some time as well. But
I'm going to go Universal.
I'm going to go on a limit. Well, he had an Intercontinental title reign in 2019. I know for sure.
Oh, yeah, he did. That's right.
I don't know if he's won it again. I swear he had that ugly belt like 3 years ago. That IC belt we have today. I swear he held that one again. I don't recall. But something tells me Finn and Dom are going to basically beat each other down at WrestleMania. They're going to We come to a point where one's going to pin somebody and they're going to break the count. They're going to do it against the other, and then it's just going to lead to an argument, and they're going to beat each other down. It could lead to cracks of the Judgment Day finally splitting up or someone getting kicked out. So I don't have a coin on me. I'm just going to go off the limb right now and say if they do crown a new champion, I'm going to say it's Penta. Penta wins the title.
I'm going to say Braun hangs on to it for one main reason. You've got a ton of guys right now in the world championship picture. I mean, between Jey Uso, Gunter, Punk, Roman, Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Cody, Cena, you know, and I'm missing people, but that's 8 right there. You don't need another one. Randy Orton, as these guys are going away, Damian Priest, yeah, so that's 10. You don't need to add Braun Breaker to that. He's just going to get lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the Intercontinental title, have a nice big reign like what Gunther did, where he had it for almost 2 years. Stick with it.
6 days, yeah.
66 days, yeah. Have a nice big run. Have some really knockout matches, and build yourself up to the point where you can do that. And by then, some of these guys will have kind of faded away a little bit. The Seth Rollinses, the Randy Ortons, the guys like that, and you can go ahead and get into the picture. The next one, another intriguing match for the women's title: Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair.
That's what we're predicting next. I'm sorry, I was about to send a tweet, but
Io, Rhea, and Bianca.
Okay. I love this storyline because it's got three different like causes. You know, you got Io, who not only is the champion of this match, she's the underdog. She's the short one, and they've been like, you know, every time Bianca and Rhea getting each other face to face, she tries to break it up, and they like push her away, and she gets really mad, and then she beats them both down. Yeah, I will admit, I mean, with the Jade Naomi feud going on, and you know, Bianca shockingly not a part of this. She's going down a different path. Yeah, she did earn her shot, and I'm not going to complain about that. But Rhea, everybody was complaining that Rhea cried her way or bought her way into this. I mean, who cares? I knew it was going to be a triple threat to begin with. You can't not go on not have a match for Rhea. You gotta put her in some way. And I said making this a triple threat was going to make it perfect. And I think this feud is better than the Tiffy Charlotte feud for a women's world title. But I didn't expect Io to beat Rhea on Raw. I thought she was going to do it at WrestleMania. I said it was going to be a triple threat and Io was going to win the title, but now she's going in another year as champion, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I think some people think Rhea's in this match to take the pinfall. I'm going to say Bianca takes the pinfall. Io's retaining. Io finally gets a WrestleMania moment, and Bianca's streak ends in this triple threat.
I'm with you. I've got Io winning. I think we're going to have, as much as I hate run-ins, I think we're going to end up with 2 actually in this one. Because I think Naomi is going to have some impact on this. And I think Liv is going to have some impact on this. Because I think Liv has still got her panties tied in a bunch about losing the title to Rhea. And she's not going to let Rhea win that title. And then you've got the whole, there's something with Naomi and Bianca that Naomi's going to be, well, I was trying to help you, and she costs Bianca. Bianca eats the pin off of Io. And I think Io wins it. I'm with you. I think Io wins it. And I mean, it's not a case that she's not viable. I think she's very good. So we both got Io winning that one. Street fight. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre.
So go back to last year. Both these guys had a WrestleMania moment, had their real moment. Drew finally won the title in front of fans. Damian Priest pulled a Seth Rollins and did his heist of the century, cashing in and winning his first world title at Mania via Money in the Bank. And
Mm-hmm.
within a year, Damian Priest has pinned Drew McIntyre 3 times in 3 different matches. He eliminated him in the Royal Rumble, plus he eliminated him in the Elimination Chamber, and Drew somehow planted the seeds of getting revenge by having him get eliminated, beating him down, and having, was it Logan Paul that pinned Damian and eliminated him? I don't remember, but
Yeah, it was Logan Paul.
it was Logan Paul. And plus what happened on SmackDown in London when he hit the South of Heaven on a windshield, I guess just to make fun of AEW and Jack Perry with the glass thing. I've been seeing a lot of jokes about that. And Drew McIntyre wearing the eye patch, which I feel like he's going to eventually rip it off at Mania. This is going to give me. This is going to be it's going to be a bloody fight. Like it's going to. There's going to be blood involved. It's going to get brutal. It's going to remind me of Edge and Mick Foley at WrestleMania 22. That was one of my favorite hardcore matches ever. But Drew needs this so bad. Drew needs to get over this and move forward. So I got Drew McIntyre beating Damian Priest.
So I agree with you that it's going to be the old JR slobber knocker. There will be pain. There will be, as Dusty Rhodes would say, blues and agony, baby.
Nice.
But it's this is another one of those matches I've gone this way. I've gone both ways over the course of it. I'm taking Damian Priest. I think they're going to continue this thing with McIntyre just getting beat in he's getting just that close and then he gets beat and whatever ends up happening. I don't see this feud ending with this match. I think this ends up going all the way into SummerSlam, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm taking Damian Priest in this one. The next match, the bathroom break match. As much as I am a fan of Raquel Rodriguez, this is not going to be a good match. Liv and Raquel against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
I know that a lot of people were not happy that Bayley and Lyra clean house in the gauntlet, swept everyone in the gauntlet, eliminated everyone, because I didn't complain about it, but it makes me wonder, are these women's mid-card titles even worth having? Or they feel pointless because they're not being defended. If we're lucky, maybe we might get Chelsea Green at Mania at the last second, but I was hoping we'd have got Bayley and Lyra one-on-one, but they had a hell of a match on Raw. Now they're forming as a team, and in just one match together, they dominated a gauntlet, ran the gauntlet, eliminated every team in the gauntlet. And they're on the verge of winning the tag team titles, which it's going to make people upset. But like I said in that Fatal 4-Way, this is going to be another reason where we might see the Judgment Day break up, because I got Bayley and Lyra winning the tag team titles. And it's going to lead to some argument backstage on Raw after Mania to have either someone get kicked out the Judgment Day, or the Judgment Day is just going to all go their separate ways. And then everybody can be finally happy Carlito's out of the group.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think you're going to have Finn and Dominic getting mad at each other in the back. You're going to have Raquel and Liv getting mad at each other and getting mad at those guys. And I think I'm with you. I think Judgment Day dies on April the 20th. It's just all going to go poof. And there it goes. Everybody's going to go their separate ways. I think Liv and Raquel will end up staying as a team before it's all said and done, because they were really good before Judgment Day. But the big thing that I'm looking at is I think you're right. I think Bayley and Lyra, for whatever reason, are really being built up for those women's titles. I'm not quite sure who they're looking at having next for them, unless it's as much as I am a Natty fan, I pray it's not Natty and Maxine Dupree.
I missed what happened there that got him eliminated. I just remember Natalya gave her a look like, "Are you serious?"
Well, Maxine Dupree tried to put the sharpshooter on,
Oh,
and when she went to roll Bailey over, Bailey small packaged her and beat her.
oh, so she won. Oh, I was gonna say, did she win with a roll up or small package?
She won with a small package, yeah,
Okay,
small
that's what
package.
I was. That's what I was wondering because I missed the pinfall. And next, when I turned around, I just saw Natty gave her a look like, "Are you serious right
Yeah,
now?"
because she was trying to put the sharpshooter on.
Here's my other question. Let's say the Judgment Day don't break up. Who gets kicked out? Finn, Dom, or hell, even Carlito?
I think that comes down to who eats the pin in the IC title match. I don't think Penta gets pinned. Braun's going to pin either Dom or Finn, and I think whichever one gets pinned is you're going to get the blame,
I
and
feel
then of
like
course,
I feel like if one of them, let's say Finn gets kicked out. If Finn gets kicked out, I feel like it's Liv pulling the strings and running Judgment Day, not Dominic. I feel like it's Liv calling the shots.
yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Because I
But then
just
we
can't see
get
Dom running it. I can't
good.
see Dom running it.
Yeah. Then we get to the match that everybody's talking about. The main event of WrestleMania 41. The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes against Mr. Five Moves John Cena.
Mr. Five
I'm not a
Moves.
Cena guy. Never been a Cena guy. I'm also not a Hogan guy, and never been a Savage guy either. So all of y'all can just send your comments and your complaints to Big Rich 8371 on Twitter
So
and have at it,
if
because
you're
I
not,
can't. I was never a fan of any of the three.
well, I was gonna say if you were not a Hulkamaniac or wasn't a fan of Macho Man, who are you a fan of? A Warrior or somebody else in the '80s?
I was okay. I'll go back on full disclosure on this one. I grew up in Arlington, Texas. I grew up a Von Erich guy,
Oh hell yeah.
especially Kerry. Kerry was
Okay.
my boy. I actually got a chance to know Kerry. Saw him 3 days before he ate the gun. I actually walked him to the ring at Hershey Park Arena to take on Kamala 3 days before he killed himself. We knew each other pretty well. Um, so there was this guy that came through called the Dingo Warrior. Kind of resembled a guy named Jim Hellwig. But he and Kerry had matches and then they teamed together. I actually dressed as the Dingo Warrior for Halloween when I was 12 years old. So yes, I was an Ultimate Warrior guy. Um, Not ashamed to admit it. I was definitely an Ultimate Warrior guy. Was a Ricky Steamboat guy. I wasn't exactly the normal, the one that everybody was cheering for fan of WWE back in the day. But yes, I was a Warrior guy, no question about it. I, Going to Cena, I get it. Promo wise, he's great, no questions asked. Top 5 of all time, probably top 10 at worst. But in the ring, he's awful. And I honestly think the only Hall of Famer that has fewer moves is Kevin Nash. I think Kevin has 4. So yeah, I'm not a Cena guy at all. You were a Hogan guy though, right? If I remember correct, if I remember you saying something, I thought I heard you say something about that one night on open mic or something. But you were a Hogan guy.
Well, I was born in the late '80s, so I didn't get to see Hogan for the first time until he was in the NWO. But
Oh, okay.
it's hard to tell where if I would have Jay Uso must have got new tattoo because like under his mullet he got the whole tribal thing like Jimmy does on the back of his neck now.
Hmm.
He's basically just going to cover his whole body like some Samoan tribal.
Well, yeah, do it like The Rock.
Yeah, like because he already got a leg done like that. His whole back, his chest, his arms. he got one whole leg done, and now he got the whole back of his neck under his mullet. I'm just seeing this
Gotcha.
now, so it's probably new. No, I mean, it's hard to tell. Like, if I would have been a kid in the 80s, it's hard to tell if I would have been a Hulkamaniac or if I'd have been a big fan of Macho Man, because I've met a lot of guys that are in their 40s now that were one or the other. But I would say this: if I would have been a kid seeing WrestleMania 6, I would have been a Warrior guy over Hogan. There's something about Warrior at that time I was a fan of. Maybe it was the music, maybe it was the neon ring gear, the neon colors. I don't know. But Warrior was something in like 89, 88 to like 90. He had my
Mm-hmm.
attention when I went back and rewatched like his match with Hogan at WrestleMania 6, or his winning the IC title from the Honky Tonk Man. It's the first SummerSlam, and his cage match with Rick Rude at Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah.
But no, I was when I got into WWE, it was The Rock for me. Like telling people to know their role and shut their mouth, or
Yeah.
all that. Like
I,
it was a swag, I guess. Just walking around with silk shirts unbuttoned and slacks, looking like $1,000,000, and raising an eyebrow and wearing glasses. I think that was that for
yeah.
me. And plus his mouth.
Yeah. And see, I was mid-20s with The Rock. Rav has a point. Bret Hart definitely, no questions asked, is up there. Um,
I was like
I was
Goldberg.
more a fan. I was more a fan of him than Shawn Michaels. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, now if
Um,
I probably would have been a Shawn Michaels fan if I'd have like watched Raw during that cartoon era. But I didn't get to it till the Attitude Era, so it was The Rock for me. WCW, I was more of Goldberg, NWO Wolfpack, The Flock, the Cruiserweights. That
hmm.
was mainly me.
Well, again, I started watching that stuff when 605 and World Championship Wrestling and JCP, all that kind of good stuff. So of course I was a Flair guy, a double A guy, Luger, Sting, definitely a Luger guy. That was my, I guess that was my cross to bear. I was a Warrior fan in WWE and a Luger fan in WCW. Not a Goldberg guy. Um,
Not anymore for me, but like WCW in 2003, yeah. But after that, no, I kind of lost interest in him being that part timer.
yeah, I just didn't. He was another one, okay, three move guy.
Spear,
I was
jackhammer,
more,
and what, a super kick?
yeah. I mean, that's it. Yeah, and whenever you got a chance to see guys, the cruiserweights, of course, like Guerrero, Benoit, Mysterio, Malenko, guys like that, of course. Um, but even whenever you got to, I never had a problem with DDP. I liked Harlem Heat. I was a big Steiner Brothers guy.
But
That kind of stuff.
oh
So
yeah, during WWE's downfall, yeah, I was very big on Booker T as a singles competitor.
yeah. And I always thought, man, if he didn't absolutely just wreck his shoulder, Stevie Ray would have been an even bigger star than Booker T. But he just destroyed his shoulder. He ended up having like replacement surgery when he was in his early 40s. It was that bad and all that kind of stuff. It was, yeah. He retired early because of that shoulder. It would go out at the drop of a hat, and I hated that. But we go back to the main event of this thing, Cena and Cody Rhodes. Cena going for I guess the tie of Ric Flair, or to beat Ric Flair, or whoever, whatever scorecard you're keeping track of. If you go by Flair's scorecard, he's won 23 world titles. So Cena's not even close. But then you got Cody. Thoughts?
Well, I will say before I get to my pick on this, I never got to say it during the middle of all that happened, but That heel turn Cena did at Elimination Chamber was the greatest thing I've ever seen for a heel turn. The eyes he gave to The Rock and The Rock doing the slit the throat. That was, I mean, I guess that's how people felt when Hogan joined the NWO in '96. Like, the whole internet just was like in disbelief. Like, he's finally a heel, but he aligned with The Rock and Travis Scott and kicked Cody and the Family Jewels. When that first happened, I said, "Oh, Cody's most than likely can retain his championship." But the way they've been building it, Cena turning into this super mega heel, making fun of kids, especially that little kid in Brussels. That was funny. That was hilarious. See, I was hoping Cena would have had a huge change. I was hoping for new theme music, come out in tailor-made suits like The Rock. No, we're getting the same Cena. The time is now jorts. The time is now shirt, because he said his promo, this is what you're getting. You're not getting nothing because you don't deserve it. Like, his promos were amazing as a heel. I have not heard that in 20 plus years. Way back when he was the Dr. Thugonomics. But then when Cody came out on SmackDown and they had all these belts in the ring, from the belt Bruno Sammartino had to that ugly belt Hogan had in the 80s, to the Wing Eagle, the Big Eagle, the Undisputed title, which is my favorite, to the spinner belt. This made me think, what if Cena were to win that and break that record? Because everyone hates Ric Flair all of a sudden because the way he acts. They want the record broken.
Yeah.
But I've been saying, I don't know if they do it just yet. I do believe Cena will break the record before he retires at the end of the year. I was hoping by SummerSlam, but it's like maybe it could happen at Mania. And then they had the rumor that Cody was supposed to go to Hollywood after WrestleMania. And I don't know if that was false, or if, because I didn't see Sean Ross Sapp or Dirt Sheets, Dave Meltzer post anything about Cody about to go shoot a movie, so I didn't believe it. But I don't. That's another one that's hard to tell, because I've been preaching for weeks Cody was going to retain, but now it's like, what if Cena does break the record? Because this is his last WrestleMania. This is it. After this year, if we see him at Mania again, it will probably be for a Hall of Fame induction. And Cena hadn't won a WrestleMania match, a singles WrestleMania match, since 31 against Rusev. It's been 10 years. Since now, the last WrestleMania he won was the mixed tag with Nikki Bella against Miz and Maurice.
Right.
So there is a possibility Cena could win. So with that being said, I'm going to go on a limb and say that Cena breaks the record and he wins the title.
Gotcha. I think so too. I think Cena wins. I've just got this feeling that there's going to be some sort of crazy shenanigans go on, and Cody ends up losing the thing. I don't like it, but I think that's what's going to end up happening. Whether it's The Rock involved, whether it's I pray it's not Travis Scott involved. But I could definitely see The Rock getting involved, and unfortunately I see Cena winning and everybody going home disappointed.
I don't know if Rock will show up, because I thought he'd be filming Moana right now, or he's filming a movie right
now. Well, I don't know. Private jets do a lot of stuff.
Like, I remember when we did,
especially in Vegas,
we did our UFL show. Yeah, he was supposed to be at the opening weekend of the UFL, but something happened with his private jet or something that he didn't get to make it to Houston. When we had old boy on for the UFL show, the one that does the he covers the Houston Roughnecks, Ace. Which,
gotcha.
I mean, he could. I mean, if you're the head guy at TKO, you might as well be in Las Vegas for this big show, even if you're backstage, helping run production and everything.
Yep.
So maybe he might show up. You might randomly hear the theme music, or if he comes out to like another music mixed with it, then you hear Hollywood Rock theme after that. I mean, I would love to see The Rock show up because I was lucky to be at SmackDown when he was there to announce WrestleMania coming to New Orleans and telling Cody he wanted his soul. That was like a big surprise for us. So I was so happy to see him because it's been like 4 years since I saw The Rock again. So
Gotcha.
that was a blessing in disguise. But yeah, Cena.
Well,
I got Cena winning.
I do too, unfortunately. But anyway, that is our predictions show for WrestleMania 41. It's going to be long. I know I'm not doing the whole 18 hours. I know that much. There's no way
Well,
I'm doing 9
you'll be
hours
lucky.
each day.
I'll be lucky if I watch at least an hour of this kickoff show. I'm definitely not watching 3 hours. I did that with the Rumble. I think they did a 2-hour kickoff, and I was like, I had to leave and I had to go to the next town over and get Pizza Hut because that's how bored I was.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be doing that. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting show.
Yeah. I think it's going to be
AirPods. And my AirPods just died, so now I'm using the microphone.
Yep. And then I'll be looking forward to the Raw after Mania to see if we get any call-ups from NXT, get any other surprises, see how crazy the fans get. You think you're in a whole nother country again, like they did with the European tour. Because that crowd gets rowdy for every Raw after Mania show.
Well, it has been a pleasure, man.
Oh yeah, this was fun. I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah, we've got to have something in the works here, hopefully on a regular basis. Still in the works, trying to get a specific date and that kind of thing that we'll be doing it because want to do it live. So just a matter of getting that done. But any parting shots before we go?
Hope you guys enjoy your Mania week. I know there's a lot on the menu this week. We got Raw tonight, NXT tomorrow night. If you watch Evolve on Tubi, you got that. You got TNA's. I feel like TNA's kicking it off in Vegas. They got a show on instead of it's like a special edition of Impact they're doing, and it's in Vegas. And then you got SmackDown, the Hall of Fame. I may watch it because Triple H is getting inducted, but I didn't realize it's starting 2 hours after SmackDown, so it's going to be midnight. But I don't have to work that day. I might sit, play video games, might get on Twitch first time in a while, and I'll check out the Hall of Fame. I'm looking forward to NXT Stand and Deliver. I love NXT. And when that's over, I guarantee you it'll probably be the first hour of that kickoff show that I probably won't watch. I'm trying to see what we're in Central Time, so it's probably gonna be 6 o'clock. It's always like 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. So I'm definitely gonna be ready for Saturday. Sunday with Easter and everything and family coming over, it might be a scramble to try and get ready for it. But I'll be having on whether if people are still at the house or not. Family members.
Sounds good. Well, we will be doing it again. We do appreciate everybody that's been a part of this thing. Appreciate everybody that's been listening, commenting, etc. And enjoy your WrestleMania week, folks. And Marcus, how do people get a hold of you outside of here?
So I'm on Twitter at MarcusLee337. I'm also on YouTube. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram. I do have a show coming on Driving to the Top Productions. If Adam is listening, I've made a decision. On the Go is gonna air following the NFL draft. My debut episode, I will recap the NFL draft. So by basically April 20, I'm gonna shoot for April 27th. I'm gonna do a Sunday show way before if we got a UFL show. I'm gonna get it done early because I'll have the whole day of Sunday to just talk and recap the Saints picks, LSU players getting drafted first round, So On the Go will make its premiere on Driving to the Top Productions April 27th. And On the Go, you can follow on Twitter at on the go _TXLA.
Very good. You can get me on Twitter at BigRich8371, on Facebook, just my name, Rich Richardson, or catch me here Monday early, 7 p. Eastern, 6 Central. I do Two Tire Change, which is our NASCAR show here on the program, on the network. Tuesday night open mic night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. And then on Wednesday, Adam and I get together and we talk Steel City sports and whatever else comes across the table on Steel City Sports Talk, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. So enjoy your WrestleMania week, everybody. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us. And until next time, so long, everybody.